Hi again. So this is your third and last video. Can be found on the back of your handout. And I'm just going to do a couple examples of how you can use that LCM to simplify what we call a complex fraction. So a complex fraction is really just like what we have here, where we've got fractions within fractions. So if you look at the numerator, right here, you have two fractions within that. Okay, and then the same thing on the bottom. So the numerator has its own fractions, and so does the denominator. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about a complex fraction. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find that LCM the same way we did when we were looking at an equation. So we're going to find the LCM of all the denominators. So in this case, I see 4 denominators that are not 1. So I'm going to try to find the LCM of all of them. So in this case, the LCM of all 4, so let me just kind of circle my denominators. I've got an x there, an x squared, and an x. So the lowest common multiple of all that would be x squared. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to multiply. My next step is going to be to multiply the top and the bottom. So really multiply the numerator, I'm just going to abbreviate, and denominator by this LCM. So I can do this. I couldn't do this in the first video because I didn't have this one. Watch, and when I multiply the top by x squared and the bottom by x squared, I'm really multiplying by 1. Okay. So what it ends up doing, if I look and simplify each one of these, so when I do this to this, okay, when I do 1 over x times x squared, I end up one of the x's drop out and I just get x. When I do this one times x squared, the x squared and the x squared cross cancel, and I just get 2 minus x. And on the bottom, when I do this to this, okay, the x squareds drop out, I just get a 3. And then when I do this to that, minus one of the x's drop out, so I have 1 times x, so I just get x. Okay, and then, so now I no longer have a complex fraction. So now I can actually just simplify that. So let's see, the x's actually drop out. That was just, it doesn't always work out like that, but that one, that's what the numerator simplified to. So I have a 2 on top, and I have a 3 minus x on the bottom. So I didn't necessarily have to have something that simple, but when I multiply through with my LCM, I shouldn't have a complex fraction anymore. I should just have one fraction. So let's do one more. So if you just go down on your page, okay, the one I want to do here is 1 over x minus 5 all over 4 over x minus 1 over x minus 5. So let's pick out, so we have 3 denominators in this case. We have x minus 5, x, and x minus 5. So my lowest common multiple for all of those, I would need an x and I would need an x minus 5 to cross cancel with all of those. So I'm going to do the top by this, and I'm going to do the bottom by this. And let's see what we end up getting. So if I do this right, I should have no complex fraction anymore. I should just have a regular fraction. So now, okay, I have to do this times this, which those drop out, and I just get x. I have to do this times this, and then this times this. So when I do it to the first one, the x's drop out, and I get 4 times x minus 5. Minus, and when I do it to the next one, the x minus 5's drop out, cancel to 1, and I end up getting x times that 1 that's there. So now I have no complex fraction. The only thing I can do is simplify the bottom to a 4x minus 20 minus x. So the best I can do with that is say it to be x over 3x minus 20. And that's my simplified fraction for that. It's no longer a complex fraction. So using that LCM made it into just a simplified regular fraction. Okay, so hopefully those help you. You have examples, at least 2, sometimes 3 examples of each type that's in your homework for the second homework assignment that you have this week. And email me with any questions, and I'll see you next week. Bye.